Maximum sentence, players will push their luck by adding cards with letters to a lineup on the table. Players keep adding cards until all players opt out. The last man standing then has 30 seconds to make a sentence using all the letters in the lineup as the first letter of each word. Players secretly vote on whether he will succeed or not, scoring points if they're correct. Players can also complicate matters by adding random words to the line to trip up the player. Add letters and words to make it as difficult as you can, but watch out, or you might wind up being the one minding your P's and Q's. Setup. Shuffle the deck of letter cards and place the deck in the center of the table. Shuffle the deck of word cards and deal 3 to each player. Players may look at these but should keep them hidden from other players. Place the 3 linking word dice above the deck of letter cards. Set the sand timer beside the letter deck. Give each player a voting token, a scorecard, and 2 cubes to track 10s and 1s on their scorecard. The player whose name is closest to the beginning of the alphabet is the first player. Give that player the first player token. There are 4 phases in each game round: creating the lineup, voting, stringing the sentence, and scoring. Creating the lineup. At the beginning of each round, flip over the first 3 cards from the top of the letter deck and place them in a line below the deck. Next, take the 3 linking word dice and roll them. Place these dice just above the line of cards, beside the letter deck. Beginning with the first player, each player will take one of the following 2 actions. 1. Add a card to the lineup. When adding a card to the lineup, a player has 2 options. A. Flip the top card from the letter deck and add it to the beginning or end of the line on the table. Or B. Add a word card from your hand to the beginning or end of the lineup face down. This card is known only to the player who placed the card for now. You may never place a word card beside another previously placed word card. The other option a player may do on their turn is to pass. If a player chooses not to add a card to the lineup, they pass and do not add any more cards this round. They take their voting token and place it in front of themselves with the nope side up. Other players may continue to play cards until all but one player has passed. The last player remaining gets to be the stringer. They place their voting token in front of themselves with the yup side showing. Once a stringer is named, turn any face down word cards face up in the same order in the lineup. Now it's time for the voting. All players other than the stringer pick up their voting tokens and hold them in their hand. Players will now decide whether or not the stringer is going to be able to string together a sentence of the letters and words in the lineup. Players will choose yup if they think the stringer will succeed, and nope if they think the stringer will fail. All players place their voting token down on the table with their choice face up, covering the token with their hand to hide their vote. Once all players have chosen, all players reveal their vote. Stringing the sentence. Now the stringer has 30 seconds to string together a sentence. Another player flips the sand timer and the stringer begins. Rules for stringing a sentence. The stringer must use every letter and word in the lineup of cards in order, 1 word per card. The stringer may use any or all of the linking words shown on the top face of the dice. They pick up the dice and place them between the cards in the lineup as they try to string together a sentence. Scoring. Each card in the lineup is worth 1 point. Certain cards with rarer letters will be worth 2 points. Any word cards are worth 3 points. Linking dice are worth no points. If the stringer successfully manages to string together a complete sentence, add up the score and divide it evenly by the number of voting tokens which say yup, the stringer and the other players. Award any remainder to the stringer. If the stringer failed in their attempt to string together a complete sentence, add up the score and divide it evenly by the number of voting tokens which say no. Players will mark any points they receive on their own personal scorecard. End of round. If no player has 30 points, all players refill their word cards to 3 cards, take back their voting tokens, clear all the cards from the previous round. The first player token passes to the next player to the left, and a new round begins. If at least one player has scored 30 points, the game is over. Add up all the points, and the player with the highest score is the winner. Maximum Sentence is a push-your-luck party game, where players try to create the longest sentence possible for maximum points, but don't want to make it so hard they get stuck trying to string the sentence together. Players all vote for or against the stringer and can share points based on their success or failure. Some silly sentences may come out, but it's all fun and games until someone can't think of a word that begins with I when they desperately need one.